We as Formula One fans are absolutely spoiled with the amount of timing data that we currently have in our qualifying sessions. We are really used to seeing times that end in 3 decimal places, a 1 minute 6.347 for example. But I want to ask the question, what is the most common Formula One qualifying time ending in all of its history? Now, it is extremely fair to say that Formula One has not been using 3 decimal place timings for its qualifying times since 1950. It only originated in 1981. So exactly how many qualifying times have been set since 1981 to the present day? Well, that number is actually relatively large, as you would expect. 29,610 individual qualifying times have been set since 1981. And this is in all qualifying sessions, our current Q1, 2 and 3 format, 1981's Q1 and 2 format, etc. etc. Where if you cast your mind back all the way to 1997 Jerez qualifying, where 3 drivers, Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, all set a 1 minute 21.072 for pole position. But is 072 the most common qualifying time end in all of history? Sit back and enjoy a time lapse for 1.5 minutes as 29,610 lap times fly by. So the most common qualifying time ending in Formula One history is 657 that occurred 49 times over 40 years and over 29,000 individual qualifying times. However, if we were to list all 49 of these occurrences of 657, it would look something like this. From the first occurrence in 1981 in Spain, courtesy of John Watson, a 1 minute 14.657, to the last occurrence, a 1 minute 53.657 in Turkey 2020 from Esteban Ocon. In 1995, there were 6 occurrences overall, from Luca Badoa, Mika Salo, Gerhard Berger, Olivier Panis, Pedro Lamy and Roberto Marino, where Fernando Alonso and also Sergio Perez both had 4 occurrences with the time ending of 657. However, even though there were 49 unique individual occurrences of 657, there were still numerous years where it didn't occur. 1982, 1983, 87, 91, 92, 97, 98, 99, 2000, a 4-year hiatus, then 2003, 5, 6, 7, and 2015. So we know that 657 is the most common qualifying time end in all of Formula One history, occurring 49 individual times. But does that mean that time starting in the 6/10th region is the most common qualifying start 10th of all history? Or would it be, for example, times that start in the 3 or even 4/10th region, or maybe even the 9th or the 8th? Let's sit through another time lapse as again 29,610 entries whiz by. So when you're next looking at a Formula 1 qualifying session, you should start to see that the times starting in the 2/10th region appear just that little bit more often than times starting in the 8/10th region. However, is this dataset truly random? Let us take a look at a quick example. There are a total of 29,610 individual times that have been looked at for this video, which means that to be truly random, each tenth would have 2,961 occurrences to be truly random. Where times starting in the 2/10th region occurred 130 times over this value, and times starting in the 8/10th region occurred 142 times below this region, with the probability of each starting 10th region looking a little like this, where you have a probability of observing a time starting in the 2/10th region of 0.01 more than a probability starting in the 8/10th region. And this by itself shows that this data is as random as you could possibly hope, with the variance of these probabilities being 0.000065. This is as utterly random as you could want. So after all this, have you ever wondered what the spread of the number of repeats would actually look like? We know that the most common occurrence was 657 with 49 repeats. What is the lowest? And then what's the middle number of repeats that pop up? Let's whiz through another time lapse for the final time this video. So out of the 29,610 individual qualifying times, there were 78 endings which repeated 25 times. The next most common repeat was 71 endings repeating 30 times. However, it wasn't until 1992, 11 years after the adoption of 3 decimal place qualifying timings, that every single ending from 000 to 999 had finally occurred, with the last ending to occur being a 932 in the lap time 1 minute 25.932 from Yukio Katayama in Spain 1992 Q1. This qualifying time was the 8,966th time to be set since 1981, almost 9,000 qualifying times later, and we have achieved all 1,000 combinations of time endings. Where at the time 931 and 933, the endings that were 1,000th faster and slower had occurred 12 and 7 times respectively. Now the final thing to take a look at is the largest frequency difference between adjacent time endings. So by the time 932 had finally occurred, it was 931 that had occurred 12 times and 933 that had occurred 7 times. But are there any larger gaps between adjacent endings than that? So overall, the time 488 had occurred 45 times in the 29,610 chances, with 487 and 489 occurring 21 and 28 times respectively. This is a total spread of 41 different occurrences. However, we can do one better than this. The time 540 had occurred equally 45 times in the total number of chances, where 539 actually occurred 11 times and 541 32, for a total range of occurrences of 45. However, there is one more occurrence that actually tops this list, and interestingly, it is 539, which occurred 11 times in the total number of chances, with 540 occurring 45 times and 538 occurring 37 times, for a total spread of 51. And there we go, there is the most common qualifying time in all of F1 history, along with a couple other interesting data points from the entire data set. I hope you guys have enjoyed this remastered edition of the most common qualifying time end in Formula 1 history. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.